and it's gratifying to hear. Thank you, Sandra. When I read stories like this, I remember how I was starting to lose hope, and it feels good to help people all over America live pain-free again. It was created by doctors. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free product using 4 key ingredients that supports the body's natural inflammatory response. And hundreds of thousands of people have ordered Relief Factor, and like Sandra and me, over 2/3 of these people go on to order more month after month. So try it yourself. The 3-week quick start. See how Relief Factor could be a game changer for you as well. Call the number 800-4RELIEF. 1-800-4RELIEF. Or go to relieffactor.com. Don't wait any longer. Get out of pain today.
At Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace, dementia care isn't just what we do. It's all we do. We specialize in caring for those with Alzheimer's and other types of dementia. We're on the forefront of dementia care with a barrier-free, stress-free environment, so residents can explore safely and feel at home. But what truly sets Terra Vista apart? Personalized care. We take the time to learn each resident's story, where they lived, their routines, former careers, even the names of family members. Anyone who interacts with your loved one can immediately make them feel comfortable and understood. We meet our residents right where they are. Residents stay strong and engaged with multi-sensory activities, music, art, horticulture, our beautiful 18,000 square foot outdoor space, and even a personal trainer. At Terra Vista, residents aren't defined by their dementia. We honor the whole person. Speak to an advisor or schedule a tour today at terravista.org. Again, that's terravista.org, and tell them AM 560 sent you.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleless.
I give up. Where are they?
Who?
Hassleless mattress employees.
Hassleless mattress showrooms really are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Don't believe it.
You won't believe our prices either. Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more for way less. Free next day delivery too.
Sure. Next you'll say I can get a free adjustable base with my purchase through Monday.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh, come on!
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassleless.com.
I'm alpine skier Michaela Schifrin. I've won the most World Cup ski races in history. But what does success mean to me? Success means discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us, and it's why Stifel is one of the fastest-growing global wealth management firms in the country. If you're looking for success, surround yourself with the people who will get you there. If you're an advisor or investor, choose Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560. The Answer.
It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Well, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us today. Amy, I am on hour 5 of radio this morning.
Yes, it's The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson. You can follow us at Breakthrough Ideas YouTube channel, AM 560's Facebook page, or online anytime at 560theanswer.com. Yeah, I heard you this morning, sister, and I was going to be with you, but I am having a procedure later on today called...
Oh, I thought you already had it. No.
Oh, no. That's why I'm having a colonoscopy, and right after the show's over, I can't wait because I'm starving. I could eat cardboard, but you can't eat anything. All you could do is drink liquids.
I was wondering what was in that Minute Maid bottle.
Well, no, it's not the solution, okay? Because there is a thing called the solution that you have to drink. It is grotesque. Like, you literally are making your body sick. That's why I'm a little grumpy, and I'm a little, because I feel sick because you take the solution so that you get everything out of your system. So that's why I'm standing by the door here today, so that if I have to, I'm going to run. Don't take it personally, Jeannie, but we will be hosting Chicago's Morning Answer tomorrow from 5 to 9. Absolutely. And then always listen to us from 11 to noon, that's for sure. And you said something to me yesterday, though, that you haven't been to the doctor in how long?
About 5 years.
Okay, Jeannie, girlfriend, we need to talk. Because you have not only kids, you have grandkids.
I know.
And you have to lift up the hood to see what's wrong with the engine, because we're all getting old. We have to have certain procedures.
I need an oil change?
Everybody needs an oil change, but you need to. So, because since I had some time off, now I'm getting all the oscopies. I'm getting the colonoscopy. I'm going to my cardiologist. I'm going to No, but I'm just saying I'm not done with my list of places you need to go.
Oh.
Maybe a urologist. No, that's for men. But you should just get blood work done. Then they'll let you know how your cholesterol levels are. I'm guessing, now I'm not a doctor, but I think with 100% certainty, you have high blood pressure.
Actually, no.
And there's a pill for that.
No, genetically, I have low blood pressure.
Oh, you're low?
Yeah, I have low blood pressure.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And when I'm in shape, it's like 90/60.
Wait.
I'm not kidding you.
You're 90/60?
When I'm in shape. That's not where I am right now, but yeah.
Well, do you ever take your blood pressure?
No.
I can't see you walking around in
No.
a cuff and Wheaton. Honey, get my drink. No, so because I'm a 130. I'm a 140/90, and I'm never going to be better than that. And so my cardiologist said, just, relax. It's going to be okay. Everybody's, 120/80, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But so you're really
I don't know. I lost a lot of trust during COVID with all these doctors, quite frankly. They all bought into the bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's true. And the last time I got a colonoscopy was the day before they shut everything down. And the doctor even said to me, do you know how many people are going to lose their appointments? My mistake where I get mammograms, excuse me, they lost 7,000 appointments. Those people never called back. That's why the cancer rate spiked, because they stopped doing all those screenings, prostate screening, colonoscopies. I mean, can you imagine how many people? Because the fastest growing cell in your body is a cancer cell. So I just...
No, my husband gets on me too, and we have Cadillac health insurance. It's not like that I don't have health insurance. We have the best of the best.
Well, do you have a primary care doctor?
No, I can't.
Do we need one? 312-642-5600. Phone lines are always open for you.
I'll just wait for my son to graduate from med school.
Oh, okay. So what kind of doctor is he going to be?
I don't know. I think he's going to do surgery.
Specialize in
some
something?
sort of surgery, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure, though. But yeah.
Oh, all right. So you're going to wait till then?
Yeah.
It's just a simple
No,
blood
I'm
test.
not going to wait. When I get around to it, I'll get around to it. I feel fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are those California football players feeling this morning?
Oh,
I mean, the ones that were in the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, because this story is spectacular.
Well, Sam Darnold isn't feeling that great because he has a California tax bill now exceeding $200,000, which more than cancels out the $188,000 payment he and every member of the Seahawks will receive from the NFL for being the winner. So guess what? This comes from Stephen Moore's Unleashed Prosperity, but also via a Washington Post editorial, believe it or not, Washington Post, reporting on tax rates in states. Like, they matter. And this is why you have now the jock tax really influences where NBA players go, NFL players go, NHL players go. You have a multiple folks like looking at how much are they going to tax me of my earnings because my team plays or it's located in Dallas. That's much better than it being located in California.
Oh my! So if they played in Nevada, they would have nothing to pay this.
Well,
money.
According to this editorial, 2 years ago, the Super Bowl was played in Las Vegas, and since Nevada has no income taxes, the players owed nothing. So this is what they do.
Yeah, I think that they're starting to finally wake up a little bit. Players, they were pushing back. I don't know if you saw this, but the Seattle Seahawks players all thanked God, and they put a montage together. And
I didn't know
there's
that.
a lot of Christian, strong family men who play for the Seahawks. But one that really stands out is on the other team, and that was the New England Patriots quarterback Drake May, who they asked him early on in the season to wear a rainbow banner on his arm, an LGBTQ+, and he said no, but he felt the need to defend himself.
I'd rather retire than wear the LGBT rainbow captain's armband. I support equality and respect everyone, yet I utterly resent being labeled it's an infringement on my personal sphere and blatant moral coercion. As a devout Christian, my faith teaches me what to stand fast for. I cannot wear a symbol that contradicts my beliefs. This is not discrimination, but an unshakable bottom line of mine. No one has the right to force me to betray my faith. I refuse to be a pawn for taking sides in the public discourse. My values need no proof from a single armband. What's even more ridiculous is the narrative that not wearing it makes one anti-LGBT. It is clearly a trap set for us by the media and public opinion. They only seek to stir up controversy and cash in on traffic, turning a blind eye to our personal will and freedom of belief. I will never accept such coercion, and I'd rather bid farewell to the field than compromise. Though I stand firm in my position.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. This brings up a scenario that happened a couple years ago. So my niece plays high quality volleyball. She was playing at that time for Creighton, and they were playing in, I'm sorry, I think it was DePaul. Okay. And it was LGBTQ weekend, and all the coaches, and we're talking, these are 2 Catholic schools, they had the rainbow pin on.
Did they make her wear the pin?
No, she did not wear it. They're players, but all the coaches were wearing that pin, and all the scoreboard had, flashing up, it's LGBTQ month and whatnot. And I was just so appalled. They're Catholic schools.
And the Catholics have caved. Well, there's 2 kinds of Catholics, right?
Cafeteria Catholics are the majority, unfortunately.
What did you call them?
Cafeteria Catholics.
What? I have never heard that term. I've heard Catholic light, but I've never heard cafeteria Catholics.
Yeah, you pick and choose what you like on the menu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, yeah.
Well, there's still a lot of buzz going on about the Bad Bunny halftime show because ratings is a big deal. Who did everybody watch? That was the big deal. And according to The Sun and CNN, are you ready for this? Bad Bunny, Super Bowl record that 135.4 million viewers watched his halftime show, the Puerto Rican rapper. It was very vulgar, and I'm sure by now you've heard the translation of his songs from Spanish to English, and they horrible. I mean, disgusting. Roger Goodell.
I looked him up.
Yeah, he should be ashamed of himself. We can't even say him on the air. And if you want to laugh, though, Glenn Beck read them, and he posted it out on his social media. Yeah. And watching Glenn Beck do Bad Bunny is kind of comical. But yeah, they said 134 million. Now Andrew Colvett, the founder, the person who arranged the All American halftime show, works for Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA. I'm sorry, words are hard today. He claimed yesterday that they had anywhere between 40 to 50 million viewers. Now, YouTube, they did get 6.1 million viewers on YouTube. That's a fact, but then you have groups of people watching. You don't just have one single person watching. You have large parties and family gatherings where they're watching. So, and the most responsible, can you believe this? USA Today said, Nielsen ratings are not out yet, and we are not going to comment.
Okay, that's responsible. You're right, absolutely.
I thought that was something
well, I mean, when you talk about sports and politics, we've got this whole thing with apparently J.B. Pritzker says he's making progress on conversations with the Chicago Bears. I don't know if I believe him or not. Who knows what incentives he's going to try and bring it to the table for them. But all we know is that every time they want to attract or keep a big business, it involves taxpayers paying up.
Well, he said yesterday, Jeannie, no, you're not going to have to pay taxes.
There's a lot of discussion, a lot of ongoing conversation with the Bears, and indeed, frankly, progress that's been made. So I'm pleased about that.
Yeah, I don't believe him, but he says he's not bluffing.
I never take anything as if it's a bluff. I mean, I'm always concerned about making sure that we're attracting businesses or keeping businesses in the state of Illinois.
So when we come back, we're going to talk to a former state rep who is now a senior fellow at IPI, who's really been breaking down the numbers. You guys are going to be shocked at how much money they could save if they move to Hammond, Indiana. And I'm pushing for it personally. We'll have that more. You're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Subscribe to the Real Story Podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or at 560theanswer.com.
Well, that was a surprise. The HVAC tech just said our furnace apparently has a cracked heat exchanger, and it'll cost thousands.
Oh, you're kidding. He barely looked at it. Now he's pushing a huge repair? What should we do?
I don't really trust them. We need a second opinion. My brother Mark recommended Airright Heating and Cooling. I looked them up, and they seem legit. Great Google reviews. I'm sure they'd give us an honest assessment. He liked that they checked their carbon monoxide readings so he knows the air they're breathing is safe. And I guess it also gave a sense of how much life was left in their furnace.
I'd love that peace of mind. Plus, why spend a fortune on something we might not even need?
Get a second opinion from Airright Heating and Cooling. Tell them AM 560 sent you and get $56 off any service. Visit Airright Heating and Cooling right now at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Airright Heating and Cooling. Doing it right since 1959.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call now at 800-533-6605 for a free consultation. For 17 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and a Christian-owned company. Don't get stuck in the endless cycle of payments. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Christian-owned Total Financial Freedom now at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605. 800-533-6605.
AM 560.
The Answer.
All right, let's go straight to the phone lines before we get to our guest, Mitchell. Yeah, Displains. Good morning.
First of all, what I find interesting about the Bears saga is that what they don't know, what people don't understand, is that Arlington Heights is hoping that they get all this money from the state. And Pritzker keeps on basically fluctuating with what he wants to do. He says he's not going to give a dime to a company that's worth $8.6 billion. Now, here's the catch. Whatever money they do decide, there's going to be a shortfall. That shortfall will be absorbed by the people of Arlington Heights and Rolling Meadows and Mount Prospect and Cook County. So this is a ruse. The fact of the matter is the 3 school districts, guys, okay, they already capitulated over the summer in 2025 and gave the Bears a $5 million discount because they're not building anything in Arlington Heights right now. That land's just sitting there. And that freeze goes to 2027. That's heard from the horse's mouth, Daddy-O. I'm telling you right now, the Bears have the arrogance and the temerity to put the burden on the taxpayers because they want to fund their stadium. Gee, good luck with that, Daddy-O. And second of all, let them go to Indiana because they want the revenue. They're much more of a state that wants to work. They want the revenue. They worked out a deal. Let them go. But the problem is Pritzker is a lying scumbag that basically will do anything he can to manufacture consent. And the Bears are equally arrogant and complicit. By the way, those 3 school districts, if they pivot back to Arlington Heights, you think they're going to give them another $10 million discount? No shot. You hear what I'm saying here, Daddy-O?
Yeah, thanks, Mitchell. Love the passion.
Yeah, no, and actually our next guest, Mark Batnick, he thinks that that their best bet is to move to Hammond, Indiana, and that because otherwise they are facing a massive property tax bill, and so he doesn't think that they're going to get any carve out. He thinks they're going to get screwed, and he joins us now. Mark, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on. I don't know if I can bring as much energy as that last caller, but I will do my best.
All right, well, just tell what did Governor Pritzker accomplish yesterday? Why did he have this news conference?
Well, I actually think that they're starting to signal differently. The whole time they were saying, no bailout for billionaires. We're, not going to give the Bears money. But frankly, I think it started with my white paper when you exposed what is the horrific Cook County property tax system and what that does to any business, whether it be the Bears or Caterpillar or, any business, especially manufacturers that have a large real estate footprint. It shows that just the math isn't viable in Cook County. So, we had talked off the air, Amy, about property tax bills to give your audience kind of an idea of where we are. Most stadiums don't have a property tax bill because they're usually owned by the government. But even the ones that do have a small one compared to what the Bears would be forced to pay if there wasn't any special carve out. So the most expensive stadium I could find is SoFi, and they are now up to about $8.8 million a year. But what people don't realize about Cook County is the only county in the state, or only county in the state and only county in the nation that has a two-tier property tax system, meaning they charge commercial properties at a different rate than residential, a much higher rate. So Arlington Heights has a near 7% of market value property tax bill. So a $3 billion stadium would have a $210 million property tax bill in Arlington Heights, which just makes the stadium. It doesn't make the math work. You're going to be forced if they don't do anything about a Bears-owned stadium. The Bears want to own something in Cook County, whether it be Arlington Heights or somewhere else. If that part doesn't get addressed, their only option is Northwest Indiana.
And Northwest Indiana, there's going to be absolutely no property taxes?
Well, because the state is going to build, they're going to create an authority, and the state is going to build the stadium for them. They're going to rent it back with an option to buy, but there'll be no property taxes. And frankly, that's how it's somewhere in the high 20s of the 32 NFL stadiums are done under that sort of structure. Like Jerry Jones does not own AT&T Stadium. He's spent much of the money building it, not all of the money building it, but he doesn't own the stadium. Technically, the municipality, I think it's Arlington, Texas, which is them or a subsidiary, owns the stadium, and he rents it back and has naming rights and controlling rights and whatnot, and that's the deal that they put together. So, I mean, a $210 million property tax bill, to put that in perspective, if you have a 70,000-seat stadium, that's $3,000 per seat per year.
Jeez.
You just can't build a world-class stadium under those sorts of rules.
Which is why they're going to bail them out and they're going to give them incentives. Can you imagine in an election year, especially when Pritzker then wants to run for president, he loses the Bears to another state? There's no way he's going to let that happen. I just don't think that it's even conceivable that that he would lose the Bears. He would absolutely lose the 2026 election if the Bears end up going to Hammond.
That's the trick box that he's in, is he can't be seen as giving $1 billion, for the Democratic primary for president. He can't be seen as giving away, tax breaks to billionaires, but he also can't lose the Bears to Northwest Indiana. So he is in a little bit of a trick bag. The Bears have said in Arlington Heights they'll pay for the stadium, and I'm not one of those people that thinks. I hated the original Soldier Field deal. It was horrible to tie up the lakefront and use taxpayer money for 8 to 10 dates a year. Bad idea. But if you build a world-class stadium, it does have a huge positive economic impact on the state. One of the things you might remember me saying often on the floor, Jeannie, when we were both in the House, is it isn't that Illinois doesn't spend the money, they spend it poorly. We spent almost the same amount of money for Soldier Field that Indianapolis spent for Lucas Oil Field. Yet they've got a Super Bowl, they've had multiple Final Fours, Big Ten championships. These are real dollars to the economy. We've chosen to spend our money poorly when we spent it, and that's been as big of a problem as anything coming out of Springfield.
Well, why didn't we put a dome on Soldier Field? I mean, that and make it larger to put in 80,000 people instead of 66,000.
Yeah, too many cooks spoil the brew. They said, well, we're going to take this. We got to keep the columns, which made the stadium be smaller. It's more expensive to retrofit something instead of going onto a green site, and you have all these different interests, and they came up with something that was acceptable for everybody but great for nobody. And that's the benefit of Arlington Heights is they've got a complete green space, and they can do a world-class stadium. And, done right, this could actually be a win for a state and the taxpayers. History hasn't been kind to Illinois politicians making decisions. I'm always hopeful. I'd like to see a Final Four in Illinois. I'd like to see a world-class, concerts and a Super Bowl. I get frustrated that not only are we losing businesses to Indiana, but to be losing the Big Ten championship and all these massive events to places like Indianapolis is pretty frustrating. If you're going to have a big event in the Midwest, it should be in Chicago. And if you're going to be a world-class city or world-class metropolitan area, you do need a world-class stadium. So there's a way to do this. It's just a matter of whether or not they actually do it right.
So the McCaskies, they own that land. The McCaskies own Arlington Park. So are they going to sell it or sell it to a developer? I mean, regardless if they stay in Chicago or move to Hammond, Indiana, what are they going to do with the land?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's a valuable piece of land that could be developed in many different ways. And the reality is if a bunch of that goes residential, that'll actually be a drain on the school district. Not if you have something that's a big commercial property, it's actually good for the school district there and for the other property taxpayers.
Okay, but Mark, here's really the bottom line here. Here's what's getting missed in all of this stuff. Money has an opportunity cost. If you spend it on one thing, you can't use that money to invest in other things. And Pritzker has chosen his opportunities, and he's put it into green energy. So he gave Rivian a $500 million tax incentive package. He gave, Rivian $827 million. Goshen over $500 million. He cut them checks out of his, slush fund, his $400 million slush fund that included $125 million check straight to Goshen, a CCP-backed company, $125 million. Check straight to Rivian, $75 million. He spent his opportunity cost. Now that $400 million is replenished all the time, and it's sitting there for him as a slush fund. He's going to use that. Trust me, he's going to use that. He's going to keep the Bears here, and the taxpayers at the state level are going to pay for it. Mark my words.
Well, you and I always voted against that.
Absolutely, we did.
It was always frustrating, but it'll be interesting to see how things play out.
You bet. All right, he's Mark Backnick, and he joined us on The Real Story with Jeanne and we'll be back, and we're going to talk about... Amy?
We're going to discuss student data and privacy concerns. AM 560, Answer.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Sean Thompson when you subscribe to the Sean Thompson Show podcast, presented by the Alpha Wealth Group. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts, or search for The Sean Thompson Show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Gianna Gelosi. ICE is in the hot seat on Capitol Hill. Democratic Congressman Benny Thompson says
they are reckless, creating chaos in our communities, terrorizing adults and children alike, and undermining our moral authority as a nation of liberty and rule of law.
Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons told the hearing,
ICE remains committed to the fundamental principles that those who illegally enter our country must be held accountable.
The hearing comes as Homeland Security funding runs out Friday. Unless Congress approves more money, Democrats are demanding ICE reform. Stay 10 in the search for Nancy Guthrie.
Investigators have not identified any suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles connected to Nancy Guthrie. The FBI put up billboards in places outside of Arizona, like Albuquerque, Dallas, Phoenix, and Irwindale, California.
That's Fox's Alicia Acuna from Tucson, Arizona. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will bring a mix of clouds and sun with a high of 45. Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 26. Tomorrow will be partly sunny with the high of 39. Thursday will be mainly cloudy with a high of 39. Friday will have periods of clouds and sunshine reaching a high of 45. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, hoping you'll join me on the unforgettable Gulf of America cruise happening in November of 2026. Imagine this: turquoise waters, white sand beaches, incredible food, insightful conversations about the future of America. Scott Jennings and I will be your hosts. We'll dive into the issues shaping America as we cruise through some of the most stunning destinations while honoring the 250th anniversary of our nation. Book your cabin today. Text the word cruise to 94878. Text cruise to 94878 or visit mikeonline.com.
RedState.com captures the pulse of grassroots conservatism. RedState staff of contributors are on top of breaking news with stories and analysis that challenge the established agenda. RedState.com educates, motivates, and activates passionate conservatives across America, arming them with the facts that put them ahead of the political curve. No wonder RedState.com is a must-read for elected officials and for citizens who want to make their vote count. RedState.com is the place where influence meets action. Log on to RedState.com today.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Stay tuned for a special message from Angel Dad Joe Abraham about his daughter Katie.
Put yourself in my shoes. I just spent my first Christmas without Katie. My daughter was murdered by an illegal immigrant Governor Pritzker protected. Imagine her final breaths, knowing that you would have given your life for hers, but you didn't have the chance. Put your child in Katie's shoes. Think of the unfulfilled dreams, the unrealized joys, and the permanent loss. I'm not a political guy, but when politicians unleash violent criminals, we all need to get involved. We can do better, and we must do better. Ted Dabrowski would have protected Katie, and he'll protect your children the way I wish someone had protected mine.
I'm Ted Dabrowski, and I approve this message.
Ben, when you designed the Klein Sofa Sleeper, you really raised the bar.
No, I didn't, Darvid.
Oh, come on. You're just being modest.
I mean it, Nicole. I didn't raise the bar. I removed it entirely.
Removed what?
The bar.
Oh, you mean that awful metal bar in traditional sofa sleepers.
Yeah, the one that digs into the middle of your back while you try to sleep.
So annoying.
Right?
But the Klein Sofa Sleeper at Penny Mustard has a solid platform base with no springs or painful metal bars.
And fellow tall people rejoice because the Klein features a longer, more spacious sleeping area.
No more feet dangling off the bottom.
I guess you could say the Klein Sofa Sleeper's design is the best. Bar none.
The Klein Sofa Sleeper, starting at just $141 a month with no interest until February of 2029 through February 16th at Penny Mustard.
6 Chicagoland showrooms.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back to The Real Story with Jeanne and Amy. We're going to go straight to the phone calls. We've got Eduardo in Tampa Bay. Eduardo, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, Jeannie. Well, I talked to you this morning, but I didn't talk to Amy. So, Amy, I got to ask you, you listen to Daryl Denard on Sundays, and they started getting excited about that Texas election, and particularly Latinos suing in Texas. I want to get your take on that. What do you think about that?
I was completely multitasking and did not hear the question. What did you want to know about the what?
Yeah, I was asking you because I know you listen to Daryl Denard on Sunday, and they were talking about the Latinos and Texas and how that might swing to the Democrats. What is your thinking on that? I think it's premature, but
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's way premature, and there's a lot of time left before that election. And I know, I mean, there's this big push. Everything's Latino. It's, you know, when I was growing up, my grandpa said to me, Amy, in 2045, this whole country is going to be speaking Spanish. And I said, no, it's not, Grandpa. And then you look at the demographics, and it is changing. The Latino population is growing. I mean, I have 2 Latinos, so maybe I'm part of the problem. No, I'm not part of the problem. I love the Latino community. There's some Latino countries that are very philanthropic, very lovely, very Christian, you know, and we can't lump them. They're not all bad bunnies, okay? And that's one thing people have to realize.
They didn't have other Latinos out there like Mexicans, Colombians. That was. They had Lady Gaga. She's not Latino. Or Green Day, that opening act. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, a lot of people were offended that they had 20 different country flags, and they had the Puerto Rican flag in front of the American flag. And under no circumstances do you ever do that, especially for our 20th year. Right. Our birthday, our anniversary that's coming up.
250th year.
Yeah, 250th year. But you just never do that regardless. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you saw this, and Jeannie, I was talking to you about this at the break. they had this little tienda, this little shop set up, and there's an EBT sign on the store window, like SNAP benefits, EBT benefits. So they went all in. They did not. They paid great attention to detail with that. So
wow. All right, Eduardo, thanks for the call.
Thank you very much. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the show.
You
Thank
bet.
you very much.
All right, thanks for listening. So this is something that needed far more attention, and we're going to bring in Desi Anderson. She was a candidate for State House on the GOP side in 2024, and she came across something very nefarious that was going on. And to summarize it, Diane Benjamin did so in her BLN News press release. She said that colleges across the country send personal student data to the National Student Clearinghouse. That organization then hands the data to Democrat-aligned NGOs in violation of the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Those NGOs distribute students' personal data to Democrat activists who then have the ability to contact students directly and get them out to vote. Of course, for Democrats. Republican candidates never had access to this student data. By the way, nobody should have had access. As a result, college students only heard from Democrats. Now we should understand how many local elections are now decided by college student votes, a ton of them, and certainly they influenced Desi Anderson's race for House GOP as she represented, she was vying to represent the Bloomington, Illinois area, which is Illinois State University. So Desi Anderson joins us now to discuss this and new legislation that's going to be filed so that this can't happen again in the upcoming elections. Desi, thanks for joining us on The Real Story.
Yes, thanks for having me on, Jeannie and Amy. I appreciate it.
So just take us through how you discovered what was going on and how it came to this point where we're finally getting legislation. And by the way, the Federalists did an awesome job detailing your entire cause here in a March 21, 2025 article. So you've been dealing this for a while, but give us the whole story.
Yeah, so in 2024, I ran for state rep in the Bloomington area. It encompasses 4 counties, and it also encompasses 4 universities, 4 colleges tied to that district. Illinois State University, Illinois Wesleyan University, ICC, Illinois Community College, and Heartland Community College. And so when you run a campaign, one of the first thing a candidate ever does is invest in good data for voter contact. And so when I was looking at my data, I had about 40,000 plus individuals. I was trying to figure out how am I going to connect with these voters, and those voters happen to be students. But I have a hinge, a nudge that these 40,000 are somehow going to determine the outcome of my race. Watching the trends once redistricting happened. And sure enough, that was the case. On election night, Illinois State University singly decided the outcome of my race. And so that data, no candidate or campaign can have access to it. It's called FERPA. It's a Family Protection and Privacy Rights Act. Kind of like HIPAA on a medical understanding, it's student enrollment data that is protected. And the Democrats were very smart. They turned around, and the civic engagement centers on these universities have partnership with NGOs. And those NGOs, of course, are Democrat-leaning, very progressive. And then in partnership, those NGOs have a direct partnership with the DNC. And so the Democrats had access to that data and was able to make voter contact and was able to get out the vote on the booths with that data. And so that's the issue here. It impacts 44 colleges in Illinois that participate, which is about 500,000 voters that it impacts in Illinois. And then nationwide, about 1,000 universities participate in the illegal data sharing of students' enrollment. And that represents about 10.5 million students.
So you brought up first this information to Trump's Department of Education and filed a complaint. And it now looks like there's legislation moving to do something about it. Can you tell us more?
Correct. Yes, we got notified on Thursday, February 5th. U.S. Department of Education now takes action to protect integrity of the U.S. elections on college campuses, pulling language from my federal complaint that I filed about a year ago. It's been a long process. And working with Congresswoman Mary Miller, she and Senator Mike Lee have language ready to be filed in regards to election integrity for our coming up elections for 2026 midterm cycle.
So even more important, I think this is interesting. So part of the reason that they were able to access the data, by the way, is through an all-in initiative that's a project of Civic Nation, which is a nonprofit spearheaded by Valerie Jarrett, a former senior advisor to President Barack Obama. And the All-In Initiative is some sort of contest among schools to see how many students they can get to participate in elections. And when they decide to buy into this competition is then when the data gets moved from the school's protective custody to Civic Nation, who then goes ahead and shares that information with NGOs that get out the vote for the Democrats. Is that how it all worked?
Absolutely, but further than that is the civic engagement centers on these campuses were receiving grant money from the NGOs. So that was the motivation. So when you had universities take the student enrollment data, they upload it to the National Center of Learning of Engagement, which is based out of Tufts University. Tufts University is the manager, the portal where all this data is getting funneled through for the Civic Nation, which is All-In Democracy Challenge. Not only are they encouraging the friendly competition, but once the universities engage, they get grant money. They get benefits that they receive at the university, and oftentimes it's tabling events, covering the cost for their tabling events, covering their costs for print, flyers on civic engagement material. So there's a real motivation just outside of a competition. This Civic Nation is giving them grant money for these universities.
Well, what's going to happen to the Democrat-aligned NGO that's been doing this? I mean, clearly it's election integrity, but they don't mind because they use it to their benefit. But is there anyone going to have a civil penalty, a criminal penalty?
Yeah, so so what happens with FERPA, the Family Educational Privacy Rights Act? The enforcer is actually the Department of Education. No student can go and file a lawsuit with the Department of Education and say, you guys have violated my student privacy rights, my data was given inappropriately. So what we're saying now is, wait a minute, it's actually more nefarious than this. Tufts University probably understands they violated in the terms of what the Department of Education said on Thursday. There is significant understanding that there's probably violation under Tufts University. So Tufts University has been put on notice, and there's a formal investigation happening right now, and Tufts is cooperating with the Trump administration, and we'll see where this investigation leads. That was the first hurdle, was to make sure, one, expose what was happening with the student data, to remind folks this has been taking place in Illinois since 2016. We're talking about 10 years. It was right underneath our nose, and we had no idea. And you will see Champaign County, for example, 10 years ago, prior to these NGO engagement on these universities, it was a red county. Now countywide races are Democrats. And so those folks have clearly feel disenfranchised. Happened in McLean County, where Bloomington is, home of Illinois State University. Our county flipped red to blue for the first time in 2024. And we can pinpoint it to those precincts where you have student housing, and we can tell you what county board races were impacted, what state races. And I believe this past last cycle, if this was not happening, I would feel comfortable that the House would have picked up 2 to 3 seats this last cycle.
Wow. Okay, so I know Darren LaHood filed legislation to say that college kids cannot vote from their university. They have to vote at their permanent home address, which it would be one fix. But do you anticipate that this issue will rear its ugly head again in 2026, or will the Trump administration be able to shut this down?
My goal is for Trump's administration to shut it down. This was designed back in 2016 as Obama was leaving the White House. This initiative with Tufts University, the funding came straight from the Oval Office, and it was to support Hillary Clinton. And what they did was they took the seed money first, and they actually chose congressional seats that were considered swing districts first and give them the first tranche of the grant money to try these programs out. U of I was one of the very first universities that participated in this outreach, and it was supposed to help Hillary Clinton. This not only has an impact in Illinois, but this is a nationwide issue. 10.5 million students' data handed over to the Obamas. Parents have no idea. Students have no idea. Worse than that, the other claim that we made on my complaint was, besides giving the data away, they actually have been tracking the students' voting behavior. Yeah. And so now they're claiming the reason why they have the data is for research purposes. And we're saying, wait a minute, that even violates the students' individual rights even more, because they didn't even sign up. They didn't give consent to have their voting behavior researched. So it's all bogus. So I think Trump folks are seeing the urgency. This is why the letter that Secretary Linda McMahon came out on Thursday is very strong, very clear of what Tufts needs to participate in regards to their investigation. And this is part of the solution for election integrity. This is just a small piece, but it's a very important piece, especially in where you have swing districts.
Well, I want to thank you, Desi, for coming on and for your courage to take on this topic and dig into and figure this out, because nobody else in the country figured it out until you did. I appreciate you. And for voters, you need to know, for Illinoisans, you need to understand the 13th Congressional District goes from Bloomington, Collegetown, through Champaign, Collegetown, all the way down to SIEU, Edwardsville, another college town. And the 13th is so gerrymandered to pick up these college towns, and these colleges are the ones who are influencing a congressional race, no doubt, in the 13th specifically. So,
correct, absolutely right.
All right, thanks a lot. That's Desi Anderson, one smart cookie. Appreciate her, and fortunately, she's still in Illinois to help us out. All right, Amy.
All right, coming up on The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson, we've been duped. We'll explain, but now let's take a break, and we'll be right back. AM 560, The Answer.
This is the show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Springfield don't want you to hear. It's The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Anthony and John here from Bionic Auto Parts, proud clients of Signature Bank. We deliver high-quality, recycled and remanufactured auto parts to Chicago and Milwaukee. Our mission is simple: provide parts safely, reliably, with great customer satisfaction.
We process over 350 vehicles a month. With big banks, everything took forever. Layers of approvals and endless delays. At Signature Bank, one call got it done. Whether it's lending, deposits, or treasury management, they deliver fast. Signature Bank made us feel like family. That's a partnership we deeply appreciate.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Play.
All right, so we've been duped. That video we played of Drake May at the beginning talking about not wearing the LGBTQ armbands, that was AI generated. And it went viral. One woman, Pamela Hallesia, she has 215,000 followers. She tweeted it out, and then other people retweeted it, and he was never asked during, the pregame Super Bowl coverage, which is normally the Tuesday before Sunday's game, how he felt about wearing any kind of armband. So it's a scary world out there.
Yeah.
But what we do know about him is that he loves his wife. They've been together. They went to UNC together at Chapel Hill. They are in absolute love with each other. He tells everybody, because he's young. I think he's 20. I don't even want to say his
Looks
age
like he's
wrong.
16.
Doesn't he look prepubescent, Jeannie? He's so young, but he's all about his wife, Anne, and their relationship. Again, they've been together for years, and he promotes how much he loves her and tells other players, one of the best things you can do in life is get married. He says that all the time. Then he talks also about his faith.
Here you go.
It's a constant in my life, knowing that one of the best things about a football team is that there's other brothers on the team that are followers of Christ, and be able to share thoughts and sit down at chapel and listen to our chapel Mitch talk before a game is just so powerful. And realizing the night before a game that we're in here spreading the word and listening to the word and knowing that that's bigger than football has just been such a thing for me to lean on and take my thoughts away from football and know that, man, this is my purpose, and this is why I'm here on this stage today, and be able to shine light on others and get them to follow Jesus Christ is what I'm here for, and it's what God put me here to do.
And again, they weren't just UNC sweethearts; they were high school sweethearts. And she decided to go to UNC because he went to UNC, and God bless them.
I mean, it's wonderful to see these athletes speaking out about their faith. I mean, you had the whole Fernando Mendoza, who gave all the glory to God every time that he had a victory up there when he received his Heisman Trophy. I mean, it's very endearing. It makes you realize
it's more than just. Sorry for interrupting. It's more than just taking a knee on the field at the 50-yard line after a game. Because I remember seeing that in high school, thinking, "Oh, we can pray." And then other teams would come, and then all the Christians in both sides, the home team and the away team, would sit in the middle of the field and pray after a game.
And then they had the whole controversy where the high school coach had to sue all the way to the Supreme Court for his right to actually pray with his team voluntarily in the middle of the field. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So
I was thinking the next thing
circle.
they're going to take away our crosses. I mean, who knows?
No,
they're not.
No, we're not going to let that happen. Okay, well, let's go to the phone screen. We've got Kevin in Austin, Texas.
Jeannie, I love how you and Amy get into the details of the problems and the solutions of what's going on in Illinois, the granular level. But I want to ask you a couple questions. So, first of all, how did somebody who's a boy's mom, that probably took a lot of your time, how did you first get involved in GOP politics 20 years ago on a precinct level? And if somebody who's listened to it, who's juggling maybe a job and also being a mother, how can they get involved in a GOP primary right now? Because this is the time to get involved where you can actually do something to make the change if you haven't been before.
Yeah, Kevin, thanks a lot for the call. I do appreciate it. I mean, in 2004, I got approached by somebody who, kind of knew that I was interested in politics, and he used to be my own committeeman, and then I moved to another part of the town. He's like, hey, we need a committeeman in this area. Would you do it? I said, okay, sure. So I've been a committeeman since 2004 in Milton Township, and it's just a matter of reaching out, getting involved to the voters. But you don't have to be a committeeman to get involved. You have to open up your network. You have to be in the conversation. And if you're not in the conversations, they will be in the conversations with neighbors. They will convince them that they're right. And we need more conversations about what's going on, especially at the local level, because otherwise we'll never get this back.
Is there a website you can go to now, if you're on your phone, to get connected right away?
You can go to the ILGOP website and you can get connected, or I just encourage you to go to your local county or township GOP site, and you can sign up to be a committeeman and get involved that way.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Right. I guess we have time for Glenn.
Yeah.
Real quick. Okay.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, ladies. So you talked about the quarterback and his faith of New England quarterback, and but do you know on The View that the governor of Kentucky was talking about his faith and how his faith supports child mutilation? That's Andy Basir.
Yeah, he was on The View. Yeah, it was awful.
Two people talking about their faith, but when it comes to where the rubber meets the road, they're different perspectives. So,
no doubt about that.
Thank you for the phone call. We'll be back tomorrow morning. We're filling in for Dan Proft from 5 to 9 a.m. Then join us again for The Real Story at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. It's finally a little bit warm out, so enjoy the sunshine and enjoy this great country, America. God bless.